Hey guys, Spencer Kaufman here. Welcome to this little tutorial on ArpReach. This is an awesome autoresponder. In fact, I personally believe it to be the best one that I have tried, and I have tried over a dozen different autoresponder or email broadcast softwares or plugins or things like that. And in my opinion, ArpReach is the best. Now, there are some significant limitations with ArpReach. However, I still believe it to be the one that I prefer to use, and it is the one that I use in all of my email sequences and series, etc. So, really, it's pretty simple. The only problem is you need to install it on a separate domain. So it's one that needs to be installed on your own hosting account, on your own website. I tried one time to install it on my website, spencerkaufman.com, just in a subfolder. Completely, it broke my site. I messed up something. It didn't work properly, so I do not recommend that. What I recommend is you go out and buy a separate domain name and then install it on that domain only. So that way, there's nothing on that domain name except your ArpReach software. That way you can't mess anything up, you can't break a website, and it just runs right there. Or you can pay them to set it up for you for anywhere from $200 or less, or $250, somewhere between $100 and $250, depending on the type of package you buy, what you need, etc. But in case you do it yourself, you can click here, you see this setup. You've got all these settings, you've got licenses, you've got imported stuff, personas. You can create a couple different personas. So this is kind of cool. You can, so there's one thing. So you can set this up. So let's say, like for me, I've got YouTube, I've got my authorship, I've got blogging, and different things like that. I could set up different personas for each of those little niches and then send out emails with that persona. Or if I had, like if you have different businesses, or if you want, you could even do different users and you could sell access to this. So you could do like one, I could do one for me, I could do one for you, I could do one for your friend, and you guys could all access this and we could each create a different persona. The only problem is you're all under the same umbrella. So you would all, like when you import your contacts, you'd all be sharing those contacts, which is a problem. I would prefer that to be separated. So this isn't one that you would want to have other people access. If you are looking for something like that, then you need to check out something called My Mail It. You'll see a card pop up here when the video is done. The card will come up here. That video will be coming out in the future. Anyway, you can also have ban lists, reCAPTCHA stuff if you want that. You can add your social networks to share these emails to social networking, which is kind of cool. It says you can add users. However, when you add a user, they're still accessing the same account. So you may upload 1,000 emails, and they may upload 1,000 emails. And instead of it being two separate things where you each only see your own 1,000, you would both see each other's emails and each other's autoresponders and lists, etc. So that's the only problem. You can add email headers so that every email you send has a header, different API keys if you want to use like SendGrid or Mailgun, backups, you can create backups and stuff, so that's kind of cool. All right, contacts. Look at all this stuff. You can add different contacts, you can add tracking tags, different categories, and segments, as well as other tags. So that's cool. Content, we've got templates, groups, you can add different attachments, you can do single emails, you can add trackable links. So you can throw a link in the email that says, hey, click here if you want to be added to this other autoresponder. Boom, they click it, they're automatically added to your other autoresponder. So this is really the most all-inclusive mailing software that I have ever experienced. It is equivalent to Aweber or Constant Contact or something like that. It is really, really excellent. Broadcasts, this would be like if you want to send out a broadcast, which is just a newsletter or a bulk mailing. You send out one email to a mass amount of people. Then we've got autoresponders. This is probably what you're going to be using it for. Show list, create new, autoresponder groups. So you can have that. That's subset with show list, create new. So I'm just going to show you my autoresponders. It's all my information, so I'm trusting you guys are going to take this and not be abusing it all. But anyway, here we go. So I've got all these different autoresponders. You can get sample ebooks. You can get all of them on my website. Free book promotions. We've got press releases stuff. My general list with only a few 100 contacts in there. I've removed a lot of them so that you guys don't see how many I have. But anyway, that's about what we've got. It shows you the unsubs, the forms you have. Now what's cool about this is you can click on any of these and it shows you what you've got. So like for here, let's check out my general list. Boom, click on messages. Here we go, look at this. I've got all these messages. Now what this does is it shows you how many were sent, how many were opened, how many bounced, etc. Now you can set things so like if it bounces 3 times, right here we've got 15 that bounced. If it bounces on this email, 15, and this email, 15, on this email it'll say 0. Why? Because it'll automatically delete the 15 bounced, so I'm not sending emails to bad addresses. So that's really cool. One thing I really love about ArpReach is the fact that you can schedule your emails to be set after each other email. So this is a true autoresponder. So right here, if you were to opt into my general list, you would get thanks for staying informed email immediately. Boom, right away. You'd get an email. Then 8 days later, you'd get the next email. 8 days after that, the next one. Then the next one. So you can have this scheduled indefinitely. I could schedule this for 16 days, or I could schedule it for 16 years. However many emails, 8 days after the last one, it continues on. So that is really cool. I really love that feature about this software is that you can set it to be scheduled after the previous email. So that's really nice. Let's go to broadcasts. We can hit schedule a broadcast, and then you can put in. Now, one thing I'm going to note, because I'm not going to walk you through every single feature. That video would be an hour long. So broadcasts, autoresponders, messages, they're all the same format. So it's super simple. We've got, so let's say right here it says this is a broadcast, right? Create and schedule a broadcast. If you did autoresponder, if you went up to here, autoresponder, create new, and then created a new email in the autoresponder, it would be the same thing. Create and schedule, and you'd go to settings. You could send it to whomever. Have tracking tag in autoresponder. So let's say I want to send it to everybody in my free book promotion. Boom, there we go. Or if I want to send it to everyone in a certain tracking tag or a certain tag, book launch, or if I want to send it to a segment, I don't have any segments, but you could add them. Or if you want to do it to contact category, I could send it to different places like eBay buyers, JVZoo affiliates, JVZoo sellers, wherever. You can choose where you want, or you can send it to everyone. So I'll send it to everyone. When to send, you can say next run, which would be based upon your cron jobs in your hosting account. You could do it on a specific date and time, schedule it. You could do it on Monday at a certain time, whatever the case may be, you can schedule it. Then, this is very important, you need to click approved for sending or it won't happen. Then if you want, you can omit certain contacts, so who are all canceled, no confirmed, who have all failed, omit them so it's not sending to them. Tracking and reporting, you definitely want to track the open rate. If for some reason you didn't, you could uncheck that box. Then you go on to the sender. This is who it's coming from. Sender name, you'd probably put your name here, your email and your reply to email. So you can change this for every single broadcast you do. So if for some reason you want to sell it out to your clients, you could say, all right, I want to send it from this business because I'm selling it to Snap Fitness of Los Angeles. All right, so I'll put Snap Fitness Los Angeles, continue on with their email, their reply to, etc. Okay, this week now I'm going to do it for Anytime Fitness in Sacramento, and then you can send them out. Go ahead, put in every single broadcast can be separate. You can charge for that. So that's kind of cool. You can buy this ArpReach, then you can sell it to your clients, and you can manage all of their email lists on your own, and you can have them pay you monthly to send out their broadcast. You could put your subject here. Now, this is another cool feature. They have 2 separate emails, so you can put plain text content, then you can add HTML content. I personally love this because this way, if some email recipient that you send to is a curmudgeon and they don't want HTML enabled, boom, they're going to get the plain text content. Whereas if you use like a different service like Zoho or MailChimp or Aweber or Constant Contact and they use a template, that is completely HTML built, they will not see that email. It will be completely blank and they will delete it and you will have a 0 open rate. However, if you have plain text content, they will receive that email. So you will have 100% deliverability, which is huge. So you can load in a template if you want. You can create your own templates. Every little thing has a little question mark so you can see what it means. Really cool. You can preview them. You can see message links. You can also send test emails to yourself. Now, one thing I like about the HTML content, if you don't know how to write in HTML with all of these goofy brackets and stuff, then guess what? You can click on this toggle editor and it brings it up to like a Microsoft Word type editor, and then you will be able to see how it can work itself. So you could type, hey, this is a test, and then if you want to bold something, you can click bold, or if you want to hyperlink something, you could hyperlink it right here. With this, you can choose if it's going to open in a new window, etc. It's really, really nice. Then, within each email, you can choose a certain layout, so you can add your affiliate link. You could add a certain header if you want, or a certain footer. Manage subscription link, which would mean complying with like an unsubscribe law. And you can also, if you want to send them an attachment, you can send them an attachment. Here are the certain attachments I have uploaded to my ArpReach account. You can choose whichever one you want to include in this broadcast or in this message within an autoresponder. It's very, very cool. So I'm going to cancel that because we're not going to save it at all. But you can go ahead and do that if you like. Here are the certain broadcasts I've sent in the past, statistics on them, and you can continue on with any of that. You can view any of that. It's really, really cool. You can edit these emails. Another thing you can do is all of the entire ArpReach, they have these choose actions. You can preview stuff, you can show log, you can test it, send it to yourself, edit it. Another feature I love is copy then edit. It's like a duplicate. So let's jump back over to autoresponders, and I'll go into an autoresponder list. So let's say I want to edit something within my messages of my Spencer Kaufman General. I want to add a 29th message, choose action. I could hit copy then edit, and now it's going to duplicate that message, and all of this stuff is going to stay the same. I just need to change it. So status, we want that set to live. Interval in what? Days, hours, immediate, whenever. We're going to keep it at days, 8 days after the previous message, and approve it for sending. You can add restrictions. So if I only want it to send on weekdays, I can uncheck the weekends. Or if I only want it to send during certain times a day, never allow it to be resent again. Tracking and reporting. I could CC or BCC myself every time the email goes out, so just to be sure that it gets sent. The message, here I could have the message, subject line, contacts format preference, so how the format is. I could choose their preference, or multi-part, which would be both HTML or plain text. I always like to leave it on contacts format. That way if their email provider specifies a certain format, it gets delivered. If they don't have a preference, send it in both. Load in a template, and then here's plain text, HTML, and then toggle editor, and you can see how it looks right there. Different layout, attachments, we've been over that. Then you can go to the RSS feed, include it in the RSS feed so that people could see it there or subscribe to it. Then instead of getting an email, they would just get a notification that you've posted a new thing in the RSS feed, which is really cool. You could hit double up on them, so not only are you sending them an email, but also you're pinging their RSS. Huge. So that's really cool. I really like that. That's pretty much autoresponders. This is a general, true, genuine autoresponder where it sends one message after another every so many days. So I really like that. Broadcast, we've been over that. Content, I'm going to show you just a couple things. We got templates. I'll be real quick here because this is something you can go through. So everywhere you go, no matter where you go to contacts, content, anywhere in here, broadcast, autoresponders, there's always cool things called I want to. Create a template, delete all. You can do that. So you want to create a template. Now you can create your own email template. So if you are selling this for clients, let's say you're selling it for Snap Fitness, you're selling it for Anytime Fitness, you can create a template, one for Snap, one for Anytime. Or for me, I can create a template for ebooks, I can create a template for YouTube Body Language, YouTube Spencer Kaufman, YouTube Michael Williams, YouTube How-To Video Channel, and bam, Then I can just select these templates to load in to my emails, and there we go. I've got a template already loaded up. So that's pretty cool. Different content things that you may be using are attachments probably. So let's just go to show list so you can see them. Here are all the attachments I have. You can add different stuff. If you want to add a new one, it's real easy. Add an attachment. You just type in the name, a little description, browse the file, and then start upload. And now you have an attachment that you can include with any email you like. So that's really cool. Contacts, you can add contacts. It's really simple. You can add individually right here, and then you can add contact info. You can add all their stuff, segmentation, where you want them to go, if you want certain tags, if you want certain categories. Now you notice here that I can only select these. If you want to add tags, then you just go over to different spots. So like here, tracking tags, create new categories. You'll see them here. Here are a couple categories. Here's a tracking tag. So you can kind of control where people are within your email lists. So that's nice. Variables, you could add new variables, custom fields, single emails, etc. And categories, segmented lists, different actions. So now actions are like if they click on a link in an email, you will automatically add them to something else. So I'll show you that quick because I really love that feature. So here I've got one action, join this launch team. So I sent out an email that announced the launch, and then if they click on the link, boom, now they're joining that subscription to my YouTube Takeover list. So you can do that for anything you like. You can have add a new action. So let's do I want to create an action, and you can check this out. You can have a description of it, enabled event, so they click on the link, they open your email, they have a follow-up message, whatever the case is. So I'll do a link click, and then what happens? Subscribe to a certain autoresponder, or look at, I could do anything. I could add a tag, I could drop their subscription, so you could do an unsubscribe, I could do changing a field, I could delete them, whatever the case may be, you can select all of that. So you've got a variety of stuff you can do. It's really, really nice. Now, you've seen all of this stuff. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time because there is so much in here. I could do a whole series of videos on ArpReach. If that is something you want, put it in the comments. If I get a whole bunch of people that say, hey, Spence, do a bunch of ArpReach videos because we want to learn more on training, I'll do it. I don't mind. I'll do anything you guys want. I'll do all kinds of videos. So before I wrap up, though, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I'm going to go back to contacts because there is one thing that I wish they would do with this. Now, in contacts, you can see currently I've got 9,139 contacts in here. I can filter them. So like filter, added whenever, has certain tags, in certain autoresponders, etc. So let's find one. We've got in autoresponder. You can, then it'll reload. Okay, in autoresponder, which one I want them to be in, so I could select certain ones. The only thing I don't like about this, watch this, if I hit in no autoresponder, so it filters them all. I have total 9,139, matching 7,455 that I am not even marketing to. They're not even in any single autoresponder. So let's say I select all of these. I've selected 250. Well, let's say I want to add 250 of them to my Spencer Kaufman General autoresponder. I want to refresh, find, add, edit matching, export, delete, clear, view. That's it. There's no way for me to select 250 contacts and add them to an existing autoresponder. That, I think, is too bad. I would really like to see that feature added. If I want to add these 250 to an autoresponder, what I would have to do is go to I want to export matching, and then what I'm going to do is see export matching doesn't mean I'm going to export the selected. It's going to mean I'm exporting the 7,455. Then you could re-upload them. Now, one cool thing about this is when I re-upload contacts, if I have duplicate, it will not upload two of them. So if I upload this bocandribs@yahoo.com to my list, then it will transfer this contact from in no autoresponder it will transfer it over to whatever autoresponder I want to add it to. Now you'll notice here I can check this with selected. It's just change format or delete. So there's no way to add them to existing autoresponders. That is a feature that I would like to see added to this. That's about it. That's really the only limitation that I have, or the only problem I have with ArpReach, is the fact that you can't like select things and move them over to other things. One thing is with the autoresponders though, I can add messages from other autoresponders. So like in this sample one, if I wanted to add the 29 messages here over to this one, I could just import them right over here. So that's kind of cool. The only problem is, why can't I do that with contacts? That's the only thing. Otherwise, I completely recommend ArpReach to any of you, because I personally believe it is one of the best autoresponder programs you can find. The only thing is, it doesn't have a built-in form builder, so you need to integrate it with something like Thrive Leads or some other type of form builder on your website. Otherwise, it is really the greatest thing. You've got all these different stuff. I don't even use 10% of what the capabilities are. However, there are a couple capabilities, like I said, with transferring contacts that I would like to see, and that's it. Then it would work perfectly for me. Otherwise, it really works well. It's easy to create emails. It's really easy to send emails. It works well for me. I like it. It suits my purpose, so I recommend it. You can pick up a link to it in the description below. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, or anything, I also want to hear from you in the comments below. And if you want me to review any other emails, softwares, or if you have any questions about them, feel free to comment. I'm always here for you guys. So click on that bell icon, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys again.